Okay, so for our evaluation of the elaborate phase, some of the positive components was with the first part of the elaborate phase when they're creating their cell and there's the block baggie. It is a hands-on activity to apply their new learning. And then when it comes to kind of the second part of the elaborate phase, the engineering design problem is going to even further extend that student understanding. And it requires that they apply it in a deeper way to demonstrate their understanding of how organelles work as a system, dependent on one another within a cell, by creating an analogy to another kind of system. Then when it comes to critiquing, again, maybe thinking about suggestions for improvement, and during that first part, while the creation of the cell model requires critical thinking and problem solving, technology really is not being produced. We felt like it was still really important to include that part of the lesson because it's giving them time to apply their learning from the explain phase, still thinking about a cell before they take it a step further into engineering. The STEM framework needs to include constraints and focus on real-world issues and problems. While this activity may include some very loose constraints, such as including various analogies to the organelles within the design, but it doesn't deal with a realistic issue or problem. The problem, while it's engaging to students, is related to a post-zombie apocalypse world where a city would need to be rebuilt and include all the components that comprise that system. If you were wanting to ground it more in a realistic setting, you could change the context to building a factory or an airplane or something else that students may be able to apply more to real life. The presence of the engineering component could also be strengthened by adding some clearer constraints. We noticed that the integration of math is fairly limited, so altering the constraints to include math could strengthen the lesson. Using mathematical practice 4, modeling with mathematics, science and engineering practice 5 with using mathematics and computational thinking. Maybe there's a certain amount of land they might have that limits their ability to do whatever they want, and it kind of adds that extra challenge to think about, well, how am I going to create an efficient system and meet all of those constraints that I have?